My name's Terry Clark Ward, and welcome to 5 o'clock. In recent years, Wrocław has become known as one of Poland's best success stories. Once a grey and neglected city, it is now a very important centre for business, culture and innovation. Today we are in the Radio Wrocław building that has been broadcasting for over 90 years. Much like any blooming flower, Wrocław has begun to attract a number of foreign guests. Some have decided not to leave. Now, before we meet today's guest, let's visit the Clue Table. Before we meet today's guest, let's have a look at the clues they have left. The first thing we have is a kiwi fruit. Maybe they're from New Zealand. Then we've got quite an interesting card from the Royal Opera House, an actor and a dancer. And we know it's a man. Also, if we look over here, we have a lot of musical instruments. We've got something like a kind of stone. Does it work? Not really. Well, let's try this side. Don't know. Maybe a musical instrument. We also have a flute here, which is from Egypt, I believe. Some Buddhist bells, maybe. A trombone right here. And a guitar. So this person must love music. And on top of that, we have something quite fishy. Dried fish. From Norway? Not sure. Anyway, let's go and meet today's guest and find out who they are. Today's guest is singer-songwriter Samuel Alty. Welcome to 5 o'clock.
Hello, thank you.
Sam, where are you actually from?
So originally I was born in Wellington, in New Zealand.
In New Zealand,
Yeah.
Okay. So that would explain the fact that there was a piece of fruit on the clue table.
That would do, yes.
A kiwi.
A kiwi, yes.
Why is that?
Well, New Zealanders have this kind of international name of being Kiwis.
Okay, so you're a Kiwi.
So I could be called a Kiwi, yes.
What made you decide to leave New Zealand and come all the way here? Because it's an incredibly long journey.
It's a big journey. Adventure. It was a family possibility. Like my father decided to move back. He was originally from England, so from Europe. So it was. I was in a moment in my life where I was excited about music and seeing the world. You know, New Zealand's a beautiful place, but it's a small place.
But now you're living in Wrocław, and what were your first impressions about life here?
Wrocław, wow. I remember it very well. I arrived on the plane and I was met by a lovely Polish lady. And my first impressions were, this place is amazing. Like, it was so exciting.
Because of her or something else?
Well, no, the city, you know. There's this kind of Central European quality, you know, the cobblestones, the old buildings, the history. You know, in New Zealand we don't have history.
So your first impressions were very positive of life here in. Would you say it's very different to life in New Zealand?
First of all, there's like Europe. Difference between Europe and New Zealand. New Zealand it's an island, so we get island mentality.
Okay.
So kind of bubble. It's a very small population. Like the whole country, there's 4.5 million people.
Okay.
So it's a very small population, and it's much slower.
Right.
And it's on the other side of the planet.
Are there any things about life here in Wrocław that you've grown to accept and grown to like? Some differences?
People are very punctual.
Really?
Yeah, like in New Zealand and there's a bit more flexibility over time, and people are very, very on time here, which I've come to appreciate.
Now you're living in Poland. Tell us about the language. Do you understand Polish?
Slowly, the language I'm learning.
Okay.
It's I think, you know, everyone's got different gifts, strengths and talents.
Yeah.
And language, I don't think is one of mine. So I'm kind of fighting an uphill battle, but slowly I'm beginning to acquire the language. And as I do, I'm beginning to, you know, open up and...
But as a musician, surely you can hear the different melody of this language.
There's It's something I've thought about actually. I find, I don't know about you, but I find there's much more kind of dynamic range in the language. It's much more.
There is a lot of that.
Yeah,
a lot of
and I mean, it may just look a small gender issue. Like there's certain sounds that I think in English would sound effeminate.
Yeah.
If a man was to get his voice to go up there, would sound quite like effeminate. But in Poland, it's not. It's
Sam, a singer-songwriter. Tell us about your music.
Since I was a kid, I've always been writing songs, and music's just been an integral part of my life. And I studied music, I studied composition, and I've been performing for, I don't know, the last 15, 20 years or so. But I've never studied formally songwriting. I've kind of unconsciously chosen to do that because it's something very personal and very intimate.
We've got some very interesting instruments. There's trombone, right?
Yeah, trombone.
Trombone. And it's an Egyptian flute.
Well, yeah, a ney flute.
And can you play something on it?
Yeah.
There you go.
This is supposedly one of the hardest flutes to produce a sound with.
Well, I tried, couldn't do it.
Yeah. I was actually in Wrocław driving around, and I had the flute on the seat next to me, and for about 3 weeks, every time I got to a red light, I would try and get a sound. And it took me 3 weeks just to get a sound, just to produce a note.
Wow.
Because you have to have exactly the right angle.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's really nice, isn't it?
It's a really beautiful instrument.
And there was another kind of fascinating instrument that we had. A stone with a hole in it.
Yeah, well, this is it's got a lot of stories in this. I mean, this is a traditional clay stone flute from New Zealand.
Does that mean, for example, it's cold outside, close the door? Dinner's ready? Is it like for cooling?
Well, I mean, it's a bit of a sad story actually, because
it's very nice though.
It's interesting sounds, but during colonialism, when the Europeans came to colonize New Zealand, there was a real suppression of the Maori culture.
Okay.
And the language and various aspects of the cultural expression. And there was a whole generation of instruments that people no longer know how to play. So they have instruments that they've found, but no, there are people alive who have kind of vague memories of what the instruments sounded like. But no one, the tradition of how to play them has been lost.
But Sam, this is your main instrument, isn't it?
This is my main instrument, it is.
Okay.
Yes.
And what is it?
This terrier. We call this a guitar. You know?
Okay. Would you like to play us a song?
Sure.
Okay.
All right.
Play it, Sam.
Life it is for living. Life it is for living. Life it is for living. Life it is for living, and it is now. For traveling, this road it is for traveling. The road it is for traveling. This road it is for traveling, and it is now.
That was great. Really, really nice. Really, really nice. I can see that you're adding a lot of additional things to what you're playing. You're using a lot of percussion as well with your hands.
Yeah. I like to incorporate different styles. So it's kind of this flamenco techniques with a kind of a bluesy kind of, this kind of Malian bluesy, desert blues kind of vibe. And also this kind of this gimbri, this kind of... And kind of like layering it up with the percussion and it's kind of like treble drone, yeah.
Sam, apart from being a musician, you're also a man of other skills, aren't you? You are also working as an actor and a dancer at the Royal Opera House.
Oh, wow.
Tell us about that a bit.
Wow, like my life has kind of not really followed a logical progression. I was in university studying my music degree, and I was traveling through London to take a plane to go and do an overseas project, working towards my degree. And I went to meet some friends before taking the plane, and they said, Sam, come to Covent Garden, to the Royal Opera House, because we're doing an audition for a part. I went along to support them and to meet them and go hang out before I took my flight. But I arrived, and the chorus manager who was organising the audition said, "Oh, we're low on men. Do you want to join the audition?" I just thought, I'm here anyway. It could be fun. And so got through all these elimination rounds, and people were like gradually being sifted through and sent home. And then finally, I got to the last round, and I thought, okay, that's nice. I'll stop here, please. But then they selected me, and they said, we want you to be in this. And I felt terrible. I felt like a fraud. I was like, oh my God, I can't do this. I'm in my degree, I'm doing music. I'm not a dancer. What's going on? And the story went like I was about to go on this travel, and I was returning on the 16th of December. And I said, I felt too embarrassed to tell them that, I'm sorry, I'm doing a degree, I can't do this. I said, I'm sorry, I'm about to go traveling. And they said, when do you get back? And I said, I get back on the 16th of December, which was about 6 weeks from that moment. And they said, that's the day rehearsals begin. So I just said, okay.
It was kind of like destiny.
It felt like destiny, without getting too spiritual. It felt real. Fated, yeah.
Tell us about that dried fish. What was all that about on the clue table?
When I moved to Wrocław, I moved in order to do a training with a theatre company based here called Kozła. One of the actors who works with this company is a man called Gabriel Gowan, and we had a very nice connection during the training, and he was directing a project in the Arctic Circle in Norway, and invited me to come and work as a musical director.
So you've got all of these talents that you've now brought to Wrocław.
Yes.
And it's also a place that you really like, isn't it, Wrocław?
Yeah, I love Wrocław, and it feels a bit like that. It feels like coming to Wrocław as many different levels of importance for me, and one of them is it has been a kind of an incubation period. So over the last 5 years, it has felt where all the different kind of chapters of my life are kind of like coming together, and I'm approaching a stage now where I'm able to share that, and I think it's more and more coming through the music and through the songs.
Do you fancy going for a walk?
Yeah.
And will you take us to a part of Wrocław that you really like?
Love to.
Okay, so let's go. Okay, Sam, you've taken us now to, where are we?
Parku Południowym.
So that's South Park, right?
South Park, yeah.
Okay, and what is it about this place that you really like?
Since moving to Wrocław, I've been very close to it. I used to live on that side of the park. Now I live on this side of the park. Okay. And it's been like a regular point where I've come to walk and kind of reflect and think about life and meet friends.
And are you inspired when we see, for example, a big statue over there of the great composer Frédéric Chopin?
I am. When I see a statue like that, I just think I want to make a piece of music with boom whackers.
They make a different Okay.
Different time.
Let's try. This is the lake over here, right?
This is the lake.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can you go fishing over there?
I don't know. I have seen fish in there. I have never seen anyone fishing. I did see someone swimming in there once.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He was quite drunk.
You said that you find this park inspiring.
I do, yeah. It's a quiet place, and in the hustle and bustle of the city, it's good to be around trees and I love to come here and kind of while the baby's asleep and push the pram around and get a coffee from the bike cafe and kind of contemplate or think about various things in my life. It's a good place for reflection.
Well, Sam, it's beautiful to be out here, but it is rather cold.
It is
cold. So I think it's time to take you now back to the radio station for your special challenge, which is interestingly enough connected to the weather. Are you ready?
All right, let's
go. Okay.
Bartek Synowiec, prezenter Radia RAM. Za 7 minut minie godzina 14. Nieoczekiwani goście w studiu Radia RAM. Dzień dobry.
Hello.
Dzień dobry.
Hello. Dzień dobry.
We have a special guest, Sam Alty, who's going to do something really cool today. What are you going to do, Sam?
Co robicie w studiu Radia RAM?
I'm going to read the weather.
Read the weather in Polish.
To jaka jest pogoda na dzisiaj? Słuchamy.
W dzień bezchmurnie. Temperatura maksymalna około 5 stopni. Wiatr słaby i umiarkowany południowy i południowo-zachodni. Warunki biometeorologiczne po mroźnym poranku korzystne.
Bardzo jestem zaskoczony tym, że przyszli, bo nie spodziewałem się takiego towarzystwa, a przede wszystkim nie spodziewałem się kamery w radiu.
Sam, it's been quite a day. We've been all around this beautiful radio station. We've done many interesting things. It's been great to see you perform. It's been great to see your musical passion and talent. Would you, at this stage in your life, consider Wrocław home?
I think so. It feels like a very supportive place where I can really move forward with what comes, what I'm inspired to kind of give to the world. So I feel like Wrocław is my place now.
In your opinion, would you think that it's possible to make a 100% living from being a musician and an artist based in Wrocław?
I think so.
It's possible.
I think so. I think it's important in this kind of day and age you have to hustle a bit, so you got to be a bit flexible. But I like that. That kind of suits my character. I like variety. So I think doing artistic projects, theatre, dance, music, cooperating with different projects and people is the way to do it. And Wrocław is an amazing place for that.
So it's not only the meeting place, it's the music place.
The music place.
Well, Sam, it's been a real pleasure having you on the show.
Thanks, man.
Thanks very much. See you next time on 5 o'clock. Today we're in the Radio Wrocław building, which has been broadcasting for over 90 years. And this floor is so old.
You were fantastic. It was me, okay?
Okay, ready? Much like any blooming flower, again, much like any Wait a sec. Much like any, can't even remember anything now. Wrocław has become one of Poland's best. What? You're making lots of hand signals. I know what you're doing. Fresh for 2017. Anything else that we can play around with?